Like till cabbage. Okay.
All right,
Like
ready? So
facial
today we have started
syndrome.
with the reading comprehension. Okay, and we said that we have Daniel Tamit, who has a syndrome. In the syndrome, he is a disabled man with a disability in his mind. On the other hand, the syndromes that provide him with a type of smartness that will make him deal with number very easily. That he memorize all numbers, starting from one to let's say 10,000. He can just make an equation like that. He loves numbers and he deals with them as they are people. He gives them shapes. He gives them personalities. He will deal with them as distinguished for each number. We stopped yesterday at paragraph number 16, and today we are continuing with paragraph number 17. All right, Mr.
Me.
Walid, we only have four. All of you are
Yes.
very. Yes, 17. Autism.
Okay. Autism, including Asperger syndrome, is defined by the presence of impairments affecting social interaction, communication, and imagination. Problems with abstract or wait, where am I
Flexible.
at? And or flexible thought and empathy. For example, for example, diagnosis is not easy and cannot be made by a blood test or brain scan. Doctors have to observe behavior and study the individual's developmental history from infancy.
So simply the problem with this syndrome is that you cannot just know it by testing your blood or just by having an X-ray for your brain. No, they have to observe the patient for weeks and months until they make sure that he has this syndrome. Yusuf?
Okay. People with Asperger's often have good language skills and are able to lead relatively normal lives. Many have above average IQs and excel in areas that involve logical or visual thinking. Like other forms of autism, Asperger's is a condition affecting many more men than women. Around 80% of autistic and 90% of those diagnosed with Asperger's are men.
Yeah, all women are.
Single-mindedness is a defining characteristic, as is a strong drive to analyze detail and identify rules and patterns in systems. Specialized skills involving memory, numbers, and mathematics are common. It's not known for certain what causes someone to have Asperger's, though it is something that you are born with. For as
So
long as
simply
okay.
So simply, Asperger syndrome, it's something that is being inherited from your parents. You are born with it. You cannot have it just by touching blood or just by infection or things like these. No, it's something that is inherited. And unfortunately, around 80% of those who are infected with this syndrome are men. Not know why men are always suffering. All diseases around the world just affect men, not women. That's very bad. Right, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Yeah. So graph number 19. Ibrahim, are you suffering from any syndrome or what?
Lonely syndrome.
Okay,
Oh,
Abdurrahman.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
oh my
Hello,
god.
Hello.
welcome back.
Hello. Hello. Okay.
Hello,
What Alulu?
paragraph,
Yes. Hello.
paragraph 90.
Okay. For as long as I can remember, I have experienced number in the visual scientific
Finish.
way that I do. Numbers are my first language. One I often think and feel in emotions. Can be hard for me to understand or know how to react to. So I often use numbers to help me. If a friend says they feel sad or depressed, I picture myself sitting in the dark, ho- hollowness of number 6 to help me experience the same sort of feeling and understand it. If I read in an article that a person felt intimidated by something, I imagine myself standing next to the number 9. Whenever someone describes visiting a beautiful place, I recall my numerical uh,
Landscape.
landscapes and how happy they make me feel. By doing this, numbers actually help me get closer to understanding other people.
So
Sometimes,
simply, thank you. So simply, he is suffering from a syndrome, and by this syndrome, he's just apart from people, separate from people, like Charlie from the last reading comprehension. He's totally apart from them. And how can he be close to them? How can he understand them? Just by imagining people with the number that he has already given them characteristics and all of this. Okay, like for example, Yusuf is number 7, Ibrahim is number 11, Walid is number 2, and so on. He's
Why
just
am I number
picturing
7?
everyone. I have no idea.
This is bullying.
Paragraph number 20, Abdurrahman.
I'm drunk, okay? Sometimes
Okay,
people
drunk.
I meet for the first time remind me of a particular number, and this helps me to comfortable around them. They might be very tall and remind me of the number 9, or round and remind me of the number 3. If I feel unhappy or anxious in a situation I have no previous experience of when I'm such more likely to feel stressed and uncomfortable. I count to myself. When I count, the numbers form pictures and patterns in my mind that are consistent and reassuring to me that I can relax and interact with whatever situation I am in.
So again, simply, he just sometimes people he meets for the first time reminds him of a particular number. Again, by giving characteristics to numbers, he just visualize other people like the same number he has already given them characteristics, and that really helps him to do the sums very quickly. Okay, go in, Mr. Fahd. You have a mic, I believe. Ed, do you have a mic? All right, going back to
They
Ali.
are silent people.
Yeah, they are all silent. Walid again. Walid turned silent
Okay,
also.
no. One
Yeah,
second.
okay.
Just one
Thinking.
second.
Take your time.
Thinking of calendars always makes me feel good. Although all those numbers and patterns in one place. Different days of the week elect different colors and emotions in my head. Tuesdays are warm. Tuesdays are warm color, while Thursdays are fuzzy. Calendrical calculation, the ability to tell what day of the week a particular date fell or will fall on, is common to many savants. I think this is a problem due to the fact that the numbers in calendars are predictable and form patterns between the different days and months. For example, the 13th day in a month is always 2 days before whatever day the first falls on, excepting leap years.
While,
Uh, while several of you're going up, I can't read it.
yep.
While several of the months mimic the behavior of others, like January and October, September and December, and February and March, the first day of February is the same as the first day of March. So, if the 1st of February is a fuzzy texture in my mind, Thursday for a given year, the 13th of March will be a warm color Tuesday.
So again,
I
simply
did
he's
not
trying to,
understand anything,
yeah,
and
of
I need
course
to
you
go
didn't.
eat because I can't read because I need to eat breakfast.
Worst excuse.
Yeah, again, yeah. Can't your breakfast wait for 30 minutes?
I mean, I can
I
bring
am
it to
having
my
breakfast
room.
right now.
Okay, so in paragraph number 21, he just trying to tell us about the way he's thinking of and how he deals with numbers and calendars and all of these stuff. For him, as we have already mentioned, he just tries to give everything a characteristic and a shape and even a color. So he's trying to tell us about the way he's thinking about calendars. So because of thinking about them always makes him feel good. Because simply he's an autistic, he's apart from people, he's separate. He just think of numbers and give them characteristic to keep him company. That's it. Paragraph number 23, Yusuf.
Yes. Sachs also describes John and Michael as playing a game that involved swapping prime numbers with each other for hours at a time, like the twins. I have always been fascinated by prime numbers. I see each prime number as a smooth textured shape, distinct from composite numbers
Composite.
that are greater and less distinctive. Whenever I identify a number as prime, I get a rush of feeling in my head in the front center, which is hard to put in words. It's a special feeling like the sudden sensation of pins and needles.
So again, he's telling us about how he feels about the prime and the composite numbers. Nothing to be discussed. Abdurrahman and Ibrahim.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Ibrahim.
Sometimes I close my eyes and imagine the first 30, 50, and 100 numbers as I experience them
Spatially, especially, sorry.
spatially, synthetically. Then I see in my mind's eye just how beautiful and special the primes are by the way they stand out so sharply from the other number shapes. It's exactly for this reason that I look at it and look at them. Each one is so different from the one before and the one after. Their loneliness among the other numbers takes that it's so conspicuous.
Their loneliness among the other numbers make them so conspicuous and interesting to me. Again, he's telling us about how he feels about number and how he deals with them. Nothing in particular, and how he imagines not just one or two number, but for 30, 50, 100 numbers. So he just imagines them as one group, right? Like dealing with, like imagining your class, the whole 18 students in the class. He just imagine a whole bunch of numbers together. Ibrahim.
He said he went to the bathroom. He
Yeah,
went to
All
the
at
right.
moments as I'm falling into a sleep at night, that my mind fills suddenly with bright light, and all I can see are numbers, hundreds, thousands of them swimming rapidly over my eyes. The experience is beautiful and soothing to me. Some nights when I'm having difficulty falling asleep, I imagine myself walking around on my numerical landscapes. Then I feel safe and happy. I never feel lost because the prime number of shapes acts as signposts.
Thank you very much for your consideration,
Okay,
Mr.
we
Ibrahim.
finished 2 pages later.
All right, going to the
Let's
questions.
go
Number
down
one,
to Minecraft now.
why does Dammit call his birthday date a blue one?
Because
He's
we
made.
don't know.
Yes, because
Because the
he was
numbers.
born in Wednesday, and for him, always Wednesday is a blue one.
Okay.
All right. Two. What is one way in which the author says he demonstrates Savant syndrome? So he thinks that some combinations of number are beautiful and some are not, like poets associating words. Remember yesterday when we said that he tries to describe numbers as the about to choose his words for making the rhythm and rhyme scheme and all of this. Number three, how does the author compare his experience with number to a poet's choice of words? Again, the same one. He thinks that some combination of numbers are beautiful and some are not, like the boat. Number four, what is the author's favorite type of calculations? We said that multiplication is his favorite type. His favorite type is the power of multiplication or multiplying the number by itself. Any- Someone is trying to enter.